Hello everyone, welcome to Royal Academy. In this video, we are going to discuss about the syllabus of UPSC and State Public Service Commission. Knowing the syllabus of any competitive exam becomes very important. But as far as UPSC and any State Public Service Commission is concerned, you have to sit for 1 year, you have to prepare for 1 year. So knowing what to read, what not to read becomes very important, as everything under the sun is syllabus. So in this video, I will tell you the right strategy, what to read, what not to read. Now, the only thing you have to do, please make note of everything, whatever I am providing here. We have divided this video in 2 sessions. In first session, we will complete prelim part, and in another we will complete the mains part. So if I talk about prelim part, you all know UPSC and any State Public Service Commission conduct 2 exams. One is general study and another is CSAT. So in this video we will particularly discuss about general study. So in general study there are various subjects that you have to prepare for, and we will comprehensively cover each subject one by one. So if we talk about general study GS1, there are subjects like history, polity, geography, Indian economy, art and culture, environment, science and tech, IR, governance. If I talk about history, so now in history you have to study ancient history, medieval history, modern history. Then there is Indian art and culture. In Indian art and culture you have to study visual art, performing art, religion, language and literature, and next is miscellaneous. If I talk about geography, you have to study general geography, geomorphology, oceanography, climatology, biogeography, human and economic geography of the world, Indian geography, world religion geography. The next subject is ecology and environment. In ecology and environment, you have to cover environmental ecology, biodiversity, resource degradation and management, environmental pollution, climate change, environmental governance. The next subject is Indian polity and governance. In Indian polity and governance, the topics that you have to cover are evolution of constitution, silent feature of Indian constitution, union and its territory, citizenship, fundamental right, DPSP, fundamental duties, system of governance, union executive, union legislature, state executive, state legislature, local government, union territories and special areas, the judiciary, constitutional and non-constitutional body, political dynamics. The next subject is economics, Indian economy and its comparative view with world economy. In this, we have to cover basic concept, economic measurement, public finance in India, money and banking, economic planning, and economic sectors. The next subject is science and technology. In science and technology, you have to cover science and technology in India, space, IT and communication, material, nanotechnology and robotics, defense, nuclear technology, IPR, and other miscellaneous issues. In this subject, you have to also cover biotechnology. The next subject is general science. In general science, you have to cover biology, physics, chemistry. So now this is the broad overview of the subjects, but we will cover all these subjects one by one, and we will cover what topic you have to cover in this in any subject. So the first subject is history. So in history, we will take ancient history first. So in ancient history, the first chapter that you have to complete is prehistoric time. In prehistoric time, you have to cover sources of prehistory, Paleolithic age, जिसको हम ओल्ड स्टोन एज भी बोलते हैं, Mesolithic age, Neolithic age, Chalcolithic age, and culture of these ages, early iron ages, geographical distribution and characteristics. The next chapter that we have to complete in ancient history is Indus Valley Civilization. In this we have to cover Indus Valley Civilization, geography, its society, economy, and finally we have to discuss decline of Harappan culture. The next chapter we have to complete is Rig Vedic period. In Rig Vedic period we have to discuss the sources, we have to cover geography, political organization and evolution of monarchy. Then we have to cover social organization, its economy, and religious practices and culture of Rig Vedic period. The next chapter is Later Vedic period. In Later Vedic period, the first topic you have to cover is geography, then political system, social organization and Varna system, economy of Later Vedic period, and the last is religious practices and culture of Later Vedic period. The next chapter we have to cover Jainism, birth and life of Mahavira, teaching of Mahavira, organization and sect of Jainism, literature of Jainism, council, spread and royal patronage of Jainism. The next chapter is Buddhism. In Buddhism we have to cover birth and life of Buddha, teaching of Buddha, organization and sect of Buddhism, literature of Buddhism, council, spread and royal patronage, and the last is decline of the Buddhism. The next chapter is Mahajanpadas period. In Mahajanpadas period, the first chapter we have to complete is Republic and monarchies. Then we will cover 16 Mahajanpadas. We have to study about Magdha. Then key dynasties like Haranyaka, Shishunaga dynasty, Nanda dynasty. Then in this chapter the next topic is Persian invasion, then Alexander invasion, society and rise of urban centers, then economy, and the last is system of administration of Mahajanpadas. Then the next chapter is Mauryan Empire. In Mauryan Empire, the first topic we have to cover sources. In sources, we will study inscription and sites and literary sources which are written in the Earth Shastra. The second topic that we have to cover is rulers and political history of the Mauryan. In this topic we will cover Chandragupta and Bindusara, Megasthenes, Ashoka and its successor. The next topic is Ashoka's inscriptions and site, Ashoka and Buddhism, Ashoka policy of Dhamma, Mauryan administration, foreign relation of Mauryan Empire, then decline of Mauryan Empire. Then next chapter is post-Mauryan India. In this we have to cover the society and evolution of Jatis, Satvahana's dynasty, Shunga and Kanva's dynasty, Saka's dynasty, Kushana dynasty, and then last is Kanishka. The next chapter is Gupta period. In Gupta period, we have to complete the topic like sources of Gupta rule, rulers and political history of Gupta chronology, foreign traveler visit, Gupta administration, other important dynasties, society, religion and culture of Gupta period, urban center in Gupta period, economy of Gupta period, science and technology, literature. The next chapter is Harshvardhana period. In Harshvardhana period, we have to complete the Harsha and Buddhism, then Harsha military conquests, administration, society and culture, then economy in Harshvardhana period. Then last topic of ancient or last chapter of ancient history is Sangam period or South Indian dynasties. In South Indian dynasty, firstly we have to cover the Sangam literature, then South Indian dynasties like Cholas, Cheras, Pandyas. Then next topic is Sangam polity, society and culture, economy of Sangam period, foreign dynasty, commercial contracts with the outside world, and school of art during Sangam period. So we have covered the ancient history in a comprehensive way. The next part of history is medieval history. In medieval history, so we have covered the ancient part of Indian history. Now we will cover the medieval India, and in medieval India you have to cover the first chapter is the major dynasties of early medieval period. In this we have to cover the Pratiharas 8th to 10th century, then Palas, then Senas, the Rajputanas, and last is the tripartite conflicts. Then we have to cover in this chapter is Palas, Chalukyas, Rashtrakutas, Indian feudalism, its administration, society and culture, and economy and decline of trade. The next chapter in medieval history is Cholas and other South Indian kingdom. In this chapter we have to cover Chola rules and political history, Chola administration, socio-economic life, education and literature, the Cheras, the Yadavas. The next chapter is early Muslim invasion. So in early Muslim invasion we have to study the Arab conquest of Sindh, Mahmud of Ghazni, Muhammad Ghori. The next and most important topic of medieval history is the Delhi Sultanate. In this chapter we will study different kind of dynasties like slave dynasty, Khilji dynasty, Tughlaq dynasty, Sayyid dynasty, Lodhi dynasty, attack by Mongols and other Turks, administration of Delhi Sultanate, economy, urbanization, society and culture, scientific knowledge and legal system, challenges leading to the decline of the Delhi Sultanate. The next chapter is struggle for empire in North India. In this chapter we will cover struggle between Ibrahim Lodhi and Babur, the first battle of Panipat, Babur's problem and the battle of Panipat, struggle with Rana Sanga, problem of the eastern areas and the Afghans, Babur's contribution and the significance of his advent into India, Humayun and the Afghans, early activities of Humayun and the tussle with Bahadur Shah, the Bengal campaign and struggle with Sher Khan, and the last is Gujarat campaign. The next chapter is the establishment of the North Indian Empire. In this chapter we will cover social and political background of Bihar and the rise of Sher Shah to power. In this chapter we have to cover the Suri dynasty, the contribution of Sher Shah Suri. The next chapter is consolidation and expansion of the empire, that is Akbar. In this chapter we have to cover second battle of Panipat, struggle with the nobility Bairam Khan, regency revolt of Uzbek noble, early expansion of empire 1516 to 1576, relation with Rajputs, that is growth of a composite ruling class, rebellion and further expansion of the empire in the northwest. The next chapter is state and government under Akbar. So in this chapter we have to study the structure of the government, central and provincial, the Vikalat, the central ministry, provincial, government, district and local government, the working of government, the ruler, the land revenue policy, the Dahshala system, the Mansabdari system, and the army. The next chapter that we have to cover is Akbar religious view. In this chapter, we will study the relation with the ulama and social reform, the early phase 1556 to 1573, the second phase that is also known as Ibadat Khana phase 1573 to 1580. Then next topic is debate, the Mahzar breach with orthodox. Next topic is ulama reorganization of Madati Mash grant. Third or final phase, Dine Ilahi stage, then policy and religious tolerance. The next chapter in medieval history is the Deccan and the Mughal. In this we have to cover the Deccani states up to 1595, Mughal advance toward Deccan, Mughal conquest of Berar, Khandesh and part of Ahmednagar, rise of Malik Amber, Mughal attempt at consolidation, extinction of Ahmednagar, acceptance of Mughal suzerainty of Bijapur and Golconda, Shah Jahan and the Deccan, cultural contribution of the Deccan state. The next chapter is foreign policy of the Mughals. In this chapter, we will cover Akbar and the Uzbeks. The next is the question of Kandahar and relation with Iran. Mughal-Persian relation, the last phase. The next chapter is India in the first half of the 17th century. In this chapter, we have to cover Jahangir accession, his early difficulties, territorial consolidation and expansion of the empire, Mewar, East India and Kangra. Then the rebellion of Sher Jahan, the rebellion of Shah Jahan, and the coup de main of Mahabat Khan. Then next is Jahangir as a ruler, state and religion in the first half of 17th century, Shah Jahan and its consolidation and expansion of the empire. Then last is evolution of the Mughal ruling class and the Mansabdari system. The next chapter is climax and crisis of the Mughal empire. In this chapter we will cover rise of the Marathas, Treaty of Purandar, the Agra visit, Aurangzeb and the Deccan state, Marathas and the Deccan, assessment of Aurangzeb and Jagirdari crisis. The next chapter is the Maratha and other Indian state and society in the 18th century. In this chapter we will cover the Maratha and their policy of expansion, Maratha and Nizam ul Mulk, the Maratha advances into Gujarat and Malwa, the Maratha advance into Doab and Punjab, Third Battle of Panipat, Shivaji administration, successors of Shivaji, then Peshwas, then economic conditions in 18th century and social and cultural life. The next topic is Vijayanagara Empire. Vijayanagara Empire, we have to study sources, political history, administration, social and cultural life, economic condition of Vijayanagara Empire, conflict with the Vehmani kingdom. The next chapter in medieval history is regional state in the medieval period. In this chapter we have to cover regional state of North and South India, social and cultural condition, economic condition and military condition. The next chapter is Northern India in the first half of the 18th century. In this chapter we have to cover Bahadur Shah I and the beginning of the struggle for Wizarat, then Rajput affairs, Maratha and the Deccan, struggle for new Wizarath, the Sayyid brother. The next chapter is society, structure and growth. In this chapter we have to cover rural society, towns and town life, women, servants and slaves, standard of living, ruling classes, the commercial classes. The last chapter of medieval history is economic life pattern and prospect. We have covered the medieval history in a comprehensive way. Now, next we will cover modern history. In modern history, the first chapter that we have to complete is the advent of European in India. In this chapter, we will cover the Portuguese in India, cause of failure of Portuguese Empire in India, then the Dutch in India, the English, the French, then Anglo-French rivalry, First Carnatic War, rise of the Hyderabad state, the Second Carnatic War, the Third Carnatic War, causes of English success. The next chapter is British expansion in India. In this chapter we will cover British expansion in Bengal, Anglo-Maratha War, the subsidiary alliance system, second phase of British phase expansion in India, the conquest of Sindh, Anglo-Sikh War, doctrine of lapse, annexation of Awadh. In the next chapter, administration before 1857. In this chapter we will cover the dual system, the Charter Act, judiciary system, impact of British administration on India. The next chapter is economic policies of British. In this we will cover phases of mercantilism, phases of free trade, phase of finance imperialism, then land revenue reforms like Rayatwari, Mahilwari, permanent settlement, impact of British policy on Indian economy, then drain of wealth theory. The next chapter is impact of British administration like industrialization, handicraft, impoverishment of peasantry, emergence of new land relation, stagnation and deterioration of agriculture, commercialization of Indian agriculture, development of modern India, rise of Indian bourgeoisie, then economic drain, famine and poverty, nationalist critique of colonial economy, abolition of dual system. The next chapter is the revolt of 1857. In this chapter we have to cover the causes of the revolt, that is economic causes, political causes, administrative causes, socio-religious causes, influence of outside event, discontent among spoils. In this chapter we have to cover center and spread of the revolt, leaders of the revolt, causes of failure of the revolt, nature and impact of the revolt, and the consequences of the revolt. The next chapter is administrative change after 1857. In this chapter we will cover administration, central, provincial, local, changes in the army, public services, princely state, foreign policy. The next chapter is development of civil services. In this we will cover Indian Civil Service Act 1861, then Montfort Reform, then Lee Commission, Government of India Act 1935. The next chapter is development of education. In this chapter we will cover Charter Act of 1813, Orientalist, Angelism controversy, effort of Thomson, Wood's Dispatch, Hunter Education Commission, Indian University Act, Government Resolution on Education Policy, Central University Commission, Education under Diarchy, Hartog Commission, Vardha Scheme of Basic Education, Sergeant Plan of Education, Kothari Education Commission, development of vernacular education, development of technical education, evolution of British policy on education. The next chapter is development of press. Firstly, we have to cover in this chapter is different publication and journals acts related to press, that is Vernacular Press Act 1878, then struggle by early nationalists to secure press freedom, press during and after the First World War, press during and after Second World War, and press after independence. The next chapter is socio-religious reforms. In this chapter, we will cover factor causing reforms, directions of reforms, Hindu reforms, reform movements among Muslim, Sikh reform movement, Parsi reform movement, significance of reform movement, and the last is impact of reform movement. Then the next chapter we have to cover in modern history is personalities. In this chapter we will cover Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Swami Vivekanand, Swami Dayanand Saraswati, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, Keshav Chandra Sen, Shri Ramakrishna Paramhansa, Mahadev Govind Ranade, Annie Besant, Syed Ahmad Khan, Baba Dayal Das, Pandita Ramabai Sarojini Naidu, Jyotiba Phule, Dr. Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar. The next chapter in modern history is peasant, tribal and other movement. In this chapter, we have to cover tribal movement like Bhil Uprising, Kol Uprising, Santhal Rebellion, Jantia and Garo Rebellion, Rampa Rebellion, Munda Rebellion, Khonda Dora Uprising, Tana Bhagat movement. Then peasant movement like Champaran Satyagrah, Kheda, Bardoli movement, Mopla Rebellion, Te Bhaga movement, Telangana movement. The next chapter is revolutionary nationalism. In this chapter, we have to cover early phases Indian National Congress, Moderate Congress, opinion against economic exploitation, administrative reform, constitutional reform, weaknesses and evaluation. Then we have to cover the extremists 1905 to 1920. In this, we have to cover terrorist movement, revolutionary movement, reason for failure, revolutionary activities in Maharashtra, revolutionary activities in Bengal, revival of revolutionary nationalism, Surya Sen, revolutionary activities outside India, the Indian Independence Committee in Berlin. The last is difference between moderate and the extremists. The next chapter in modern history is Indian National Movement. In Indian National Movement 1905 to 1918, we have to cover partition of Bengal, Swadeshi movement, Muslim League, Surat session of Indian National Congress 1907, Indian Council Act, Mawle Minto Act 1909, Gadar Party 1913, Komagata Maru incident 1914, the Lucknow Pact 1916, Home Rule Movement 1915 to 1916, August Declaration 1917. The next chapter is Indian National Movement Phase 2, 1918 to 1929. In this chapter, we have to cover World War I, reform and agitation, Champaran Satyagrah, Ahmedabad Mill Strike, Kheda Satyagrah, the Government of India Act 1919, Rowlatt Act, Jallianwala Bagh Massacre 1919, then Khilafat movement, the non-cooperation movement, Bardoli resolution, Nagpur session of Congress, Swaraj Party and its evolution, Simon Commission, Nehru report, Jinnah 14 points, Lahore session, Allahabad address 1930. The next chapter is Indian National Movement Phase 3, 1930 to 1947. In this chapter, we have to cover civil disobedience movement 1930 to 1931. Then first round table conference 1930, Gandhi Irvin Pact, Karachi session. Second round table conference, civil disobedience movement. Third round table, communal abode, Pune Pact, Government of India Act 1935, World War II and Indian nationalism. Then resignation of Congress Minister, Pune resolution and condition, support to Britain. Then August offer, the Indian civil disobedience. Then two nation theory, demand for Pakistan, Cripps mission, Quit India movement, Azad Hind Force, Indian National Army, INA trials, Rajgopalachari formula 1945, Desai Liaquat Pact, Cabinet mission, Wavell plan, Jinnah direct action resolution, Mountbatten plan of June, then Indian Independence Act 1947. Then the next chapter is Governor General during British India. In this chapter, we have to cover Governor of Bengal, Governor General of Bengal, Governor General of India, Viceroy and Governor General of India. So, list of the Governor Generals of or Viceroy of India are like Robert Clive, Lord Warren Hastings, Lord Cornwallis, Sir John Shore, Lord Arthur Wellesley, Lord George Barlow, Lord Minto Hastings, Lord Amherst, Lord William Bentinck, Lord Charles Metcalfe, Lord Auckland, Lord Ellenborough, Lord Harding, Lord Dalhousie, Lord Canning, Lord Elgin, Lord Lawrence, Lord Mayo, Lord Northbrook, Lord Linton, Lord Ripon, Lord Dufferin, Lord Lansdowne, Lord Elgin II, Lord Curzon, Lord Minto II, Lord Harding II, Lord Chelmsford, Lord Reading, Lord Irwin, Lord Wellington, Lord Linlithgow, Lord Wavell, Lord Mountbatten. The next and last chapter of modern history is Constitutional Development in India. In this, we have to cover the Regulating Act 1773, Pitt's India Act 1784, Charter Act of 1793, Charter Act of 1853, Government of India Act 1858, Indian Council Act 1861, Indian Council Act 1892, Indian Council Act 1909, Government of India Act 1919, Government of India Act 1935, then Indian Independence Act 1947. So this was all about the comprehensive syllabus of Indian history, in which we have covered ancient, medieval as well as modern history. In the next video, we will cover the next subject and we will discuss every subject comprehensively. Thank you so much. See you in the next video.